everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV, and we have an opposition preview. These lads have been on this channel loads of times in the last 2 years. I've got Sai from We Are Tottenham TV. How are you doing, Ty?
Yes, Lee, all good, man. How you been?
Not so good because of the start of the season, but more on that in a minute. So we've got yous on Sunday, live on Sky. We're going down, so we'll be doing a collab with these guys after the game as well, so keep it tuned to that. And so it's an opposition preview, so we'll talk a little bit about Spurs and a little bit about Newcastle towards the end. But Sai, what was the mood like after the Champions League final defeat over the summer? Was it doom and gloom, or was it more optimism?
No, I think we're still getting over it, to be honest. It's been to get that far to a Champions League final and then to have your dreams crushed after 30 seconds. I think we're kind of still suffering a bit of PTSD from that kind of result, and it was definitely doom and gloom for a while. I think the signings have definitely placated that. I think we've made some good transfer business this summer, and it's got the optimism back in the fans, but everything with Eriksen wanting to leave, and there was a lot of doubt over Pochettino's future over the summer. People were, a lot of different things being said, and definitely the Champions League defeat contributed to that. But I think there's a lot of optimism now. I think we have kept most of our players together. Hopefully Eriksen stays beyond the window, and I think the signings we've made are really great. That Ndombele signing looks a real gem. I'm really happy with him. So I think it's hopefully it'll spur us on. We've had so many semi-final and final defeats under Pochettino. It's hard to keep saying, "Oh, we'll learn from it, because how many times can you learn from something before you have to admit to yourself maybe we're not that good and we need to improve in certain areas? But hopefully this season we get a trophy in the bag, and that's what Pochettino wants. He said that before.
Awesome, you've just literally timed it spot on, because I was going to go on to your new signings. So we've got three that have come in the door. Ryan Sessegnon, who we all know about. Lo Celso's probably a little bit unknown for the majority of English fans, and Ndombele as well. So tell us about those two in particular.
Yeah, well, Ndombele, he came from Lyon. He's our record signing at £63 million. He plays in centre mid. He's kind of fought being a replacement for Moussa Dembele, who we lost in January, and we haven't really had that player with the same kind of skill set as him since he left. And he's a real ball carrier in the central midfield. He's so strong on the ball. He's a real good dribbler. He really caught the eye last season when Lyon went to the Etihad in the Champions League and they won 2-1, and he was man of the match, and he played the City midfielders off the park. He was so good. And that really impressed. A lot of teams in Europe really started to take notice. And there was big talk in the summer that he could have been of the interest of Man City. And apparently he was City's second choice if they did not get Rodri. But obviously they went for Rodri instead of him. They broke his release clause. And it kind of gave us... And we got in there with Ndombele quite early. And there was rumours as well, Juventus were in for him. And he's a player who can do everything. He's good on the ball. He got, I think, the most assists for Lyon from open play last season. And also he's up there in terms of tackles and interceptions as well. So his off the ball play is really great. Obviously, it's going to take a bit of a settling in period for him in coming to a new league. But I think the early signs in his performances for Tottenham are really, really positive. And I'm really, really happy that he's part of the club. In terms of Lo Celso, there was a lot of rumours at the beginning of the transfer window about him, but we even bid for him before we signed Ndombele, which was in June or something like that. And then it took us all the way to the last day of the window to agree a loan deal for him with an obligation to buy. There was talk of him being a replacement for Christian Eriksen. He came from Real Betis, who we've got an obligation to buy for 55 million next season. He scored 16 goals from Real Betis last season. A lot of them in Europa League as well. He looks like a real decent player. Argentina full international. He played a lot of times in the Copa America last season for Argentina. And he's kind of versatile. He can play central midfield. He can play all across the front line in the attacking midfield options. And I'm just hoping it doesn't mean Christian Eriksen's leaving before the window, because I think Eriksen right now is a different level to him, but he has real potential, and I'm really excited about him. But I think he's going to take more of a settling in period than maybe Ndombele might have.
Must be good just talking about signing players.
It does feel good. I must say, you sign your fair share.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned Eriksen as well, and also Danny Rose was close to leaving as well. Kieran Trippier's probably the one that's probably raised a few eyebrows, but why is Pochettino trying to change the fullbacks?
I think Pochettino really likes pace and power from his fullback positions. And as good as Trippier was on the ball and in possession and his crossing ability second to none, he just didn't have that required intensity that I think Pochettino probably acquires from a fullback position. Too many times he got caught upfield, he got caught in possession or caught out of position, and it took its toll, especially over last season. He had a great World Cup, everyone can see it, but he was helped a lot from the English defence having 3 centre-backs, and he was kind of playing the wing-back position, and he doesn't play that anymore too often for Spurs. He did all right when he did there, but we like to play forward at the back to get more players in midfield and more players in attacking positions, and if he keeps getting caught upfield, then he becomes a defensive liability, and that's what kept happening. Obviously, he's now gone to Atletico Madrid, a great team and a great defensive team as well. So obviously, he's probably going to improve a lot as a defender while he's there. And it's a great move for him. Spurs have no ill feeling against Kieran Trippier. He's a great player. But I think he just wasn't right for the Spurs system. He's a great fullback, but just didn't fit it completely. And Danny Rose, obviously, there's been a bit of trouble with Spurs ever since he spoke out against the board pretty much on the eve of the Newcastle game, I remember. It was back in 2017. And there's always been a bit of a funny feeling between Spurs and Danny Rose ever since then. He's been kind of in and out of the squad, in and out of the team a lot. There's been a lot of injuries. And he only really until the last couple months of last season have we really seen him back to his best. So there were still doubts whether he was still capable of playing as good as he could. There were rumours even he was going to go to Newcastle with stuff. But I still believe he's our best fullback on his day. We decided not to really sign a fullback because we got Juan Foyth coming through, and I think we're going to use him a right back. And also, no one really came in for Rose either. So hopefully he can get back to his best, which has been a while, and hopefully we see the best of him. But I think there are still doubts between the relationship now between him and Spurs.
Right then, let's get off the transfers. And we had EFTV on a couple of weeks back, and they were all saying, all of them were saying that you're going to get in the top 4, which is surprising. It's not often that EFTV would say that about you lot. But more importantly, though, is it more important, you touched upon this already, is that go and get that trophy, even if it's an FA Cup or a League Cup or a European Cup. You've got to nail that now. Yeah,
no, it's interesting what Pochettino was saying at the beginning of the season, because he's kind of changed his tune a lot in terms of, he said this season, this is going to be, I think, his 6th season now at Tottenham. He said this season he really believes that if we don't win a trophy this season, then this is probably the first season where you can consider that failure as opposed to other seasons. So it's interesting to see how we're going to approach the domestic cup games like the League Cup and FA Cup. I would still say, in my opinion, that I would rather Spurs consolidate their position in the top 4 ahead of like a League Cup or an FA Cup. I would say that I wouldn't want us to be finishing outside the top 4 and winning a cup, because I think players don't want to be playing Europa League, and they say Europa League club, and that means something. And it also means something to how much money we can afford and how much money will be available to us in transfers. Ndombele we only got to sign him because we got to use the money that we earned from our Champions League run to sign him. And if we don't, if that means we drop out the Champions League, and we can't be on the Europa League budget. That's not sustainable for us. We need, with the new stadium paying it off, we need to be in the Champions League year in, year out. Obviously, we're all desperate for a trophy here at Tottenham. That's no secret. It's been a while. I mean, maybe not as long as some, but it has been a while since we won a trophy. So we do want any trophy would be welcome at Spurs, and I think it would be nice if we didn't always play weakened teams in domestic cups, even though I think it's hard to say that we do always, but I think that sometimes we don't take them as seriously as we should. But I think the top 4 is still priority in terms of that. But I think with the squad, we got to the Champions League final last season, and we've improved on the squad from last season. I think we have a real chance of competing again in the Champions League, and maybe even pushing Liverpool and City this season in the league. I think Liverpool for sure could be catchable in that 2nd place.
Never seen Newcastle lift a trophy in my lifetime, so... Anyways, right. Your start of the season, obviously, you came back and beat Villa 3-1 at home, thankfully, because we hate the Aston Villa and Newcastle fans.
Why? Villa?
Some of the time, twice. They put the banners up when we went down. It's a long hatred. We don't like them. Obviously, great point away to Manchester City. I know VAR was involved in all of that, but 4 points.
Yeah, my lord.
4 points from 2 games. You're expected to make it 7 points from 3. You must be confident going into this game.
Yeah, obviously, look, Newcastle haven't had the best of starts to the season, and given that they've lost Rafa, They've always given us a good game, to be honest, especially under Rafa Benitez. It's always been close games. I don't think we've really ever beaten you by more than a goal or two. Especially last season at Wembley, that was a real tough game. I only took a real late goal from Son, and it was a keeper mistake that gave us the win. So if you can keep that defensive solidity, then you could give us a tough game. But I think in terms of Spurs, how we started the season, obviously the Villa game, we were 1-0 down up until 70 minutes in, and then we got 3 late goals and Villa succumbed to the pressure. But the performance in that game in general wasn't one of our best. It was okay in the second half, but in the first half we really didn't play well. We could have been more than a goal down. And in terms of the Man City game, everyone can see we got away with one that game. They had 30 shots, everyone was having chance after chance, and we were so lucky to come away with a point. I think we had 3 shots the whole game, and one of them was from the halfway line, and the other 2 were the goals. So we kind of was real smash and grab at Man City. So in terms of performances we put in, Newcastle maybe get some hope from that, but Spurs hopefully was going to click at some point. We know what we're doing at Tottenham, and even if we are having a bad game, it's quite likely that we could still ride our luck even against Newcastle and still pinch the 3 points. But if we're on our game, it's going to be very hard for Newcastle to get anything. But they gave Arsenal a great game, I thought. Newcastle did the first day of the season. They were unlucky to lose that one. I think Arsenal's only shot on target maybe that they scored from. Yeah, so they got a bit unlucky in that game. I think Shelby at the post. So if you can replicate that kind of performance, maybe you can make it tough for us. You never know. Maybe you can nick a point. But obviously this first team.
Come on, you can say it. You're going to win. You just can say it.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, I'd be extremely disappointed if we didn't get the 3 points. No secret there.
Right then. Now we're going to be visiting the stadium inside, as I touched upon your channel as well. This will be my 3rd time down, but the first time going in. I believe you can only pay it by card, which is a surprise to us. Tell us what expected, when we go in. Describe the feeling of your new stadium.
I think in terms of this is one of the best stadiums, I think, in Europe, for sure. It's, in terms of modern stadiums, you're not going to see something quite like it. There's something immense about walking out on that ground and seeing the pitch, how close you are to the pitch, but also how large the stadium is. You don't quite get that out of the stadiums. In terms of technology, it's one of the most technological stadiums you're ever going to see. There's 4 massive screens on each part, in each corner of the stadium. There's free Wi-Fi for everyone to kind of get connected to. You'll see it for yourself. The kind of I like the pitch as well is marvellous, and I think the big getaway from the stadium is the big wall of sound. Hopefully, we're going to be creating the 1-tier stand in the south stand that creates all the noise for all the stadium, all the Spurs fans to be getting around the team. It's really marvellous. I think Daniel Levy's done a great job getting the stadium together. I think also not only on the pitch but also in the getting beers at half time and before the game, the marketplace at Spurs. Obviously, that's not available to away fans, but they've really created something massive at Tottenham. They keep the bars open after the game for about a couple of hours. So there's always fans staying after the game, getting a drink, discussing the game, having a sing song. I think they've really thought about everything in the stadium to the nth degree, and I think once you go inside, you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll be very impressed with what they've done, because it's really a great achievement. It really is, I think.
I'm excited to see it, actually. Speaking of noise, obviously we'll be noisy. Of course, the tune are going to be travelling. You'll hear us from a mile away. Speaking of Newcastle, question for you then. Do you see Steve Bruce lasting a full season?
Well, look, the results have got to start turning around quickly for him. Obviously, given it was always going to be tough for him coming in for Rafa, and the reception he got didn't help. So obviously, this start to the season, 2 defeats and 2, was always going to put him under immediate pressure. But I think if he can get a couple of results, I didn't see your game against Norwich, but I think the Arsenal game, there wasn't too many negatives in that game, apart from the fact that he didn't obviously score. But I think if you can get a few positive results, start turning the feeling around Newcastle, then maybe he can have a decent season. I think I think he's right in his assessment that he has to focus on the cup runs. I think that, because I think a good cup run, if you can get a cup under your belt, whether it be a League Cup or FA Cup or whatever it is, that would mean so much to Newcastle. Really, I think that would mean the world. for you guys if you can get a cup under your belt. So I think that's the right way to approach it. I think it drives me mad when I see teams. I mean, not saying that you're not going to be troubled by relegation, but usually you're kind of in mid-table between 10th and 15th, and so you're never usually that troubled by a relegation battle. It's under wrapper, I guess, anyway. But it drives me mad when I see a team in mid-table not take the cup run seriously because they're worried about relegation. It's like, you've got the chance to win an FA Cup and the League Cup, but you're going to rest players because you want to finish 11th or something. Why not go for the cup? Why not try and go for glory? And I think Steve Bruce has seen that, and I think if he can get a good cup run, then I think he could be a good manager for you guys. But it remains to be seen if he can get this squad gelled together and get them playing. I think you've got some good players there. But it's going to take some time, I think, for him. It always takes time for managers, and whether he'll get that time, it's a big question because he's under immediate pressure straight away, isn't he?
So you haven't answered the question, though.
Will he last? I think he'll last the season.
Yeah, I don't. I think he'll be sacked.
Well, but because he was what? Who are you going to bring in?
I don't know. I just don't think we're going to do that well. I think we'll be hovering around bottom 3 for a large part, and I think the board will panic come February. But we'll see on that.
Out of Steve McLaren, surely.
No, anyone by him. Score prediction: I'm going to say 3-0 defeat. What are you saying?
I'm going to say 2-0 to Spurs. I think you'll probably give us a tough time, but once we grind you down, I think the pressure will tell, and hopefully we can get over the line. But I think Newcastle, they can make things tough for you, and if they still have that defensive solidity that under the wrapper, they can keep that, then they can make it tough for teams.
We'll be doing a collab after the game, post-match with We Are Tottenham TV. So keep an eye on that with Sai and Ben. I don't know if your expressions blog is going to be around as well. He'll be around, spurring about and all of that. But stay tuned to that. We've done a preview also on their channel as well, so pop over. There's a link in the description. Sai, thanks for coming on, and I'll see you Sunday afternoon.